you get that kind of a help top lane. But Aurelia does really abuse Vladimir. So we'll see what they end up going. Vladimir can be very safe, but honestly, after looking at it, the Yorick pick, I'm kind of curious how it would have worked if that was the case. Because if they have the Yorick pick, Mundo, he can put a little bit more pressure on the bottom lane, not have to focus on top as much. Yorick still does very well against Aurelia.
Yeah,
I see
buddy.
I see it.
Big smile on my face with the Blitzcrank ban. So yeah, I mean, it's going to get them a little more confidence, I feel like. And I think I am in the position that Blitzcrank was the key champion.
Need some new confidence in your swing.
Yeah, a little bit. Tiny bit. Not much.
Ban out Blitzcrank.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, exactly. So Blitzcrank was the key to I think a lot of their ability to stay aggressive and counteract the stall that Ordinance wanted to do in that game, so they can try to get to the late game. And so I could see the Blitzcrank ban. It makes sense to me.
It does make the Alistar ban is definitely a good one, but I'm a little bit surprised that Meat Playground didn't want to hold off and see if they could get that Alistar pick.
Yeah.
But I understand if they think that the way it would match up, if the second and third pick might have a little bit too much to it, so they go ahead and ban that. If they didn't want to take Alistar with that first pick, but Malphite as well. We'll have to see how or what X Hazard is going to be looking to do in the top lane, and whether or not Kiko can do well against it. But again, I think the Yorick is the pick in that situation, because Yorick can do well versus Aurelia, but then Yorick and Karthus is also a really strong combo if Karthus can farm, which he was decently farmed. He's just going to run around, undying multiple times in the middle of the team fight.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, actually, now that I think about it, the Alistar ban is because they're going to pick Nunu.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'll buy that.
Yes! I'm learning.
Huzzah!
Yeah, I really like Nunu just getting tons and tons of play.
It's actually probably not going to be now, just because of that. It would be a nice pick.
Yeah.
Nunu is getting a lot of play. It comes down to the players, and some people will first pick Nunu every single time. Some people won't. There you go.
I feel pretty good about that. And the other side was they banned Nunu last game, or Meat Playground did, I think, actually. So I mean, they didn't want to be playing against it, and so it makes sense that. If they don't want to play against it, they don't want to ban it, then they pick it. And so they picked Nunu, and I was right twice in this game, and that feels pretty good, let me tell you.
Should we start keeping a tally?
Yeah, we'll just scratch it into this desk. It's like...
Oh, and Ezreal Sona, definitely a nice pick up there. And I was about to say that Ezreal works very well against Nunu. He's one of the common matchups there, because while Nunu has the attack speed slow, it won't shut down Ezreal quite as much as it does other ADs. Ezreal still is very skill-based, and then Ezreal has his own slow to counteract it. So the big thing with Nunu as a support is you have the Blood Boil and you're slow, which allows you to win any sort of matchup when you're just brawling it out.
Yeah.
But Ezreal counteracts that very well, and then Ezreal and Sona is a very common burst lane. We'd seen that earlier with TSM and any number of times before. So we'll see how Meat Playground will kind of deal with that. Graves is definitely a strong pick. You can sit behind the minions and farm. Wow. All right.
That was a really fast lock-in, wasn't it?
Let's do it.
I'm not a big fan of Singed in competitive play, but Legion runs Singed, and it never works out for them. So I'm going to continue to be not a fan of Singed in competitive play until I'm proven wrong. Because, even Dyrus from time to time will play Singed and will generally
really
lose
well in
horribly.
A lot of situations.
No, yeah, he's good. But I think maybe he's just a little too easy to exploit in the early game. So they can really stick it to him and force him to not scale well as he goes into the late game.
That's actually 100% the reason why people don't play Singed, is because his late game is absolutely insane, and a lot of times you can single-handedly carry games as Singed, and we have seen him a lot, some recently, but his early game, he's such a liability. If you fall behind, you're screwed. So they will go ahead with that. Nocturne, really strong pick, along with the Morgana. So they have some nice AoE, but they also have great initiation into the backline against Graves. So they're going to have some nice advantages there. The only thing left is to decide who they're going to match up against Singed. And there's a lot of champions that do very well against them, particularly Bruisers, if you have the follow-up CC to try and pick up any kills. And then you get tanky enough and get enough regen that you can just sit in the middle of his poison. We actually saw a Singed a while back where they played a Shyvana with Frozen, Force of Nature against him and just constantly pushed him into the tower. And with the Force of Nature regen, Singe just couldn't kill them. It just wasn't enough damage with the poison.
Oh, interesting. That'll be good. Just like this Tryndamere pick will be good as well. They're not going to pick Tryndamere, are they?
No, they're not going to pick Tryndamere.
Okay. All right. Just lie to me next time. Be like, yes, they are definitely going to pick Tryndamere.
Nick, there comes a time in a man's life
when you have to come to
where
terms.
you need to have a conversation.
The birds and the bees.
Now, the birds, they're pretty fine, Nick. They're they have nice curves and feathers.
And
the bees, they're
let's just stop the conversation. Just stop it.
No, Olaf is a very strong jungler, and they ran Olaf last game. It worked out very well for them. He was unbelievably tanky and unkillable. And they have a lot of team fight control, so it's just an all-around strong team comp. It'll be very difficult for one of the nice things with having both the Anivia and the Nunu is it makes it more difficult to engage onto Graves. And they already have a team with Morgana and Nocturne to try and get in the back line against Graves. But Nunu and Anivia will be able to counteract that a little bit. And Anivia versus Morgana is a pretty even lane, but Anivia has actually a slight advantage in that matchup. So we'll see how that kind of works.
Yeah, I think the wall, the Navy wall, has a big role to play in that matchup as Morgana. She has that spell shield, which would protect her from a lot of those, those targeted CCs. But the wall, since it doesn't target, it really negates that shield, and it's going to force Morgana to play a little bit different, rather than against maybe some other AP champions. So, if we get some good ganks and combined with a Nivea wall, I think we can see some significant impact in that mid lane from Anivia.
Yeah, and they are going to go with that Aurelia pick. So Aurelia is one of those champions that does well against Singed. We'll see, though. This would be cool. I would enjoy seeing a jungle Singe. I assume it was going to be top. Okay. So Aurelia, you have the regen to deal with Singe's poison, so you can keep yourself pretty high. You can push him into the tower. The Singe can counter push easily. But then you have the diving potential where you can try and pick up early kills or just harass him out of lane. And so Singe can fall, decently far behind in the early gold. He needs a lot of gold. He needs to finish his items before he's worth anything, just because of the nature of him. The fact that he has to dive right into the middle of the enemy team and make it out alive in order for him to be of any use to you. So we'll see how that'll kind of work. It does give them a nice kind of pick-off team. They can just focus on, once they're tanky enough. What?
Wow.
All right then.
Yeah.
Is he running ability power? I've seen Jungle Singe before.
I've seen it a couple times, but
it's
not in
very rare. Armor, attack speed, ability power, magic resist.
Interesting.
So here's the thing: Singed, he's a he's a clearing jungler. You have the AoE to run around and clear out minion waves. And I guess I don't know if that was always the thought where they could switch Singed in, or if it was just that they had the versatility between Singed and Olaf. But Olaf does a lot better against Aurelia. And Olaf, it's an even matchup, if not to Olaf's advantage in that lane. Though Aurelia, once she gets regen, she has the advantage there. But Olaf does a nice job in that matchup, so you don't have to worry about the fact that Aurelia is going to beat up on Singe early on, and then, you get him in the jungle, so we'll see how that'll work out for them.
Yeah, I feel like I have to rephrase my previous statement, which was I don't like Singe in competitive play. I don't like Singe top lane in competitive play, but jungle Singed, I think that's okay. I'll take that. And we haven't seen it a whole lot, and I'm not sure how his ganking potential is going to be. It's going to force him into using his ult or his ghost to actually be able to close the gap and be able to do something. But if you're out of position, you're going to get a lot of damage done to you. Like if you push up, you're going to need to be really careful. So it's going to need to take really good wording on behalf of Ordinance to be able to prevent themselves from getting Singe worked. Because he's going to come in, he's going to poison you as you run away, and then he's going to flip you and you finally get on the other side of him. So you think you're going to get away, but you're actually just going to get poisoned and thrown. So I think he has a lot of potential.
He does play very similarly to Mundo in the jungle, so it is that same kind of matchup. They do have great tanking potential. If Singe gets any early armor, then they can tower dive very easily, and then having that toss is definitely going to be huge. Morgana should be safe in the mid lane. Not a lot going to happen there, but in particular to watch out for is Aurelia in the top lane. The kill potential with Olaf and then Singed, to pick up those kills. They do have to worry, though, because Nocturne, he's a control jungler, and then with his long-range initiation, you can easily counter gank. That's the big thing that Nocturne's used for, is that kind of counter ganking presence. So if Singed is trying to tower dive or something, all of a sudden Nocturne comes out of nowhere, turns it around, they pick up some kills. So I would probably expect that Singed is going to play just a farming game and play as a control jungler and then be a reactive jungler. So he's going to play like a Shyvana or Mundo would, in that you just kind of run around, clear your jungle. If you see Nocturne ganking, you get your butt over there and you stop him, or you go steal his own jungle. So, that'll be kind of interesting to see.
But the one thing about Nocturne though is he's so good in the chase.
Yeah.
With his Q, and Singe is even better in the runaway. So like, Nocturne is going to dive in, is going to try to close the gap on Singe, and then Singe is just going to poison him to death. So, and that combined with Singe's tankiness and Nocturne's not so tankiness, I think it's going to pose a really big problem, even in the counter ganking sense, like where he's going to go in and try to, change the tides there. But Singe is just, again, really tanky, and if he can get to that phase where he has that Rod of Ages, and he's getting to that tanky level, which I'm not sure if you get Rod of Ages on Jungle Singe, but we'll just see what happens. But
I'm guessing Gold pretends, but we'll see. I think Rod of Ages would probably factor into the build once he can get up there.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how far along Singe gets before he decides he's going to start ganking a lot, and how Nocturne's going to do with that in the counter gank, type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, once Singe gets farmed, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
He can force people, throw them back into the Anivia wall or throw them over the wall or whatnot. So he has a lot of pick-off potential, and that's absolutely huge for their team. Because they don't really have a great initiation, they need people to fight right up in front of them. And that's what Singe does. He forces people to fight because of his movement speed and then, tossing them back into your team. So that's definitely a nice situation for them. But we'll have to see how they're going to, turn these things out. They are set up. Everything's ready to go. Meat versus Ordinance. Yes. Okay. I am looking good.
Yes, you are.
I am looking good.
Yeah, you are.
I meant the overlays. But, so they will be fun.
Can I ask you a question?
Is it personal?
Yeah, it's like a really personal question. If you were going to be one League of Legends champion, who would it be?
Gragas.
Gragas?
No, Gragas.
No, that was like, that is the right answer, sir. You win.
Gragas, come on. It would be Baron Gragas, though.
You just drink all day and
Gragas
throw
Esquire.
kegs around? I mean,
it would actually be
we
Graves.
do that all day anyway in the office, but...
That's basically a day at work. No, it would be Graves, probably.
Oh, really?
Gragas is solid. Gragas is a man of the town. He's like an early, 19th century aristocrat, and that's like, they're like, oh, well, I'm really large because I'm wealthy. And that's I don't know, that's who Gragas is. But Graves is Clint Eastwood. He's the man in black.
He's
Johnny
cool.
Cash.
Didn't you say that you're looking for a Johnny Cash Graves skin? Oh, no, you're looking for a Ziggy Stardust.
No, I went Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie, Ezreal. And then I also want... I just wish that the original skin... Oh, they're going to walk right into it. No, there's no Flash Frost. Pobelter taking up front the wall, but there's the stun onto NK Inc. He will have to back off. And Kiko jumping into the back line. NK Inc. is very low, but Kiko, is he going to go down? Ice Ball, the Ignite, just not able to finish it off. In the meantime, X-Hazard trying to chase down, can't grab that. The first blood, and then chasing after Trixie as well. They grab that. The flash in, I'm going to actually look at the end of that real quick, because they were able to chase after Kiko right after he goes over. The flash from Pobelter picking up, then the Flash Frost onto Trixie. Really nice play there, and they're able to take that early advantage. Oh, I wanted the original Graves skin, if it was a Duster but not a shotgun, and if it was a sawed-off shotgun instead of a I don't know, it's like a Tommy gun. Then it would be a little bit cooler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with you, but yeah, that's fair. I mean, whatever you want. So, but Anivia's going in the lane 2-0. So that is not good. I mean, especially when you're talking about a lane that's even, and now you're bringing in an aspect of a pretty big advantage early on. Then you're gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. I'll be honest, though, I'd be more concerned about bottom lane, because even though Anivia is 2-0 right now, Morgana can just play really passively and farm. But bottom lane, Ezreal, if he gets any sort of lead, can just abuse you so hard. And with the burst that they have with Ezreal and Sona, they could really quickly throw on some hurt onto Light Sludge. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. Already just getting some nice aggression. We'll have to see how that lane kind of progresses.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Ezreal can just he can poke really well, and he can force you force you back so you can't push or so you can't farm well. And that's what we're seeing here. Graves is trying to go up with that shorter range and trying to last hit, and Ezreal's just trying to poke him down and get him out of lane with that advantage. So good of Ezreal to know. But here comes Singe. He's going to try to make a play. Let's see if he can make something happen. He's going to turn that poison on. Ooh, Olaf almost goes down. But Aurelia gets out of there in time, and doesn't look like Singe is going to be able to catch her.
Does she? Because she's walking into her
yeah.
turret. I'm like, Nick, what are you talking about? You're like, and Aurelia is going to be able to escape, thankfully, into the enemy turret. Just go back to your home. Yeah, so she does go down. They're able to pick up the kill, and they will be fine there.
Nice, okay. Well, it's good that Singe didn't get the assist, because that's really what I was talking about.
No, that was definitely big. I mean, that was the thing that Aurelia wanted to do by, she knew that she was dead. Like, there was no way out. She didn't have a flash because of that level 1, so she was in a bad situation. But in the meantime, Legsvink dumping onto X-Hazard, gets the fear. The red buff, one more attack, is able to grab it. So they're able to pick that up. And then he can push into the wave. So it's going to deny Olaf a lot of experience and gold that he was otherwise ahead of Aurelia for. But actually, the quick burst, Robert actually getting pretty low, but Erwin Boo's almost going down himself. So they're starting to be able to trade pretty decently, with Sona and Ezreal. Spellsy very, very low. Very low.
That's Graves does so much damage in those trades that if you're out of position and she can get that point blank buckshot, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. And at those early levels, especially with Sona and even Ezreal, where you're not very tanky, you're going to just take a ton of damage. And if you're not careful, he's going to get blood boiled by Nunu, and he's going to chase you down and kill you. So. They're going to have to be really careful, but luckily they have some heal. They can bounce back, and they can continue to farm well while Graves is pushed out of lane.
Yeah, they're definitely in a nice situation there. Top lane, how is the experience? Okay, so Kiko a little bit best. So they're basically even experience. Kiko's actually going to get a little bit of an advantage once this pushes into the tower, so she's going to be fine there. But we'll have to see. Nocturne is down here. He wants to see if Singed has gone back yet. And so Kiko is playing defensively right now, not knowing whether or not Singed is still there. But we'll be fine to pick up all of this experience and then maybe even get a gank from Nocturne. Actually, X-Hazard going to be walking into the bush, but he's going to be fine. Legsvink doesn't quite have the closing speed. And in the what's up? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I think you're zoomed in, man. Okay. No, we're good now. Yeah, so they're just going to continue to kind of bicker back and forth and try to do some trading and stuff like that. But the thing is, as Olaf levels up that true damage, it's going to be significant against Aurelia, while Olaf can just build kind of tanky and can offset that damage. So Aurelia's not going to be able to offset that true damage. It's going to be a real problem. Meanwhile, Ezreal, this is what he does best, is he just pokes down, follows up, and pokes down again. So he's going to do some significant damage. And if you're out of place trying to place a ward, you're out of place trying to poke down, he's going to jump on you, and he's going to do some real damage on you.
Yeah, Ezreal's mobility is fantastic. He has great chasing potential. Singed is coming down bottom, though. He's only level 5. They do see him in a ward here, so he's not going to be able to get a good engage. And Ezreal and Sona are very safe, so there's not really a big threat there. They will be fine. But in the meantime, Aurelia diving onto X-Hazard. He will back off for a second, but that's because Nocturne is here for the follow-up. So actually, he hasn't engaged yet. That gives X-Hazard an opportunity to come back. He hasn't seen him yet, but there it goes. The fear from Legsvink. The follow-up from Kiko. They get the stun as well. There's the fear. The ignite going off, and they just quite don't have enough, so he is going to be fine.
Yeah, that was really lucky, and that's another situation where X-Hazard isn't warding the river, and we didn't see that last game either, and it cost him early game. Luckily, he's pretty tanky, and he's doing a pretty good job this time around. But yeah, he's just getting caught out, and he's getting lucky a little bit. Oh, that Singe throw just going over, and it's going to take down Spellsy. And Singe goes down as well. And here comes Morgana coming in with that ult and going to do a lot of damage here. And Graves is going to, and Nunu both go down. And that was a really good exchange, for, if you can call it that, for Ordinance.
Yeah, it was a really good them taking it. And yeah, so they just, Ordinance trying to push an advantage there. Really nice job getting away from Meat Playground. They had sat down bot for a while, and so they, it opened up opportunities where Ordinance is like, hey, we know you're here. There's no one holding me mid. Morgana could just push into the tower and then use her, mobility, just run around and pick up those kills. So really nice job. Pobelter pushing down this tower, getting some nice harass here. He does have a little bit of a mana advantage over Morgana, having that catalyst. We'll see what Trixie decides to build. Is actually really far ahead at this point. So Trixie, doing a nice job catching up to Anivia.
Yeah, the Anivia just continuing to trying to farm and stay safe, and I like that ward that Pobelter put down. They're going to have good control over the jungle creeps there and be able to go and try to sneak it in and try to take those and try to be safe. So that's good on her to be able to farm down. Meanwhile, bot lane, Ezreal just doing what he does best again, just poking down. Oh, and there's the Soul coming in and doing some damage.
Yeah, but Singe just coming down as well. Robert actually trying to get the kill on Light Sludge, but he's going to be fine. He's still kind of tempted a little bit. He wants to stay on the outside, but there's the smoke. They're going to be able to pick up this kill. One more attack is able to grab it. So really nice job from Singe coming in there to help them out. And despite the ward coverage, Singe is just fast enough. He was able to chase them down. Morgana does grab the blue, and Pobelter's very low on mana, so Lexvink trying to engage. The fear will not proc, and he's going to be okay. Barely getting out of there. The bind, though, it barely hits. And Trixie, he doesn't have enough mana for his ultimate. It's 3 seconds away. 3, 2, 1. He might turn back into Pobelter. Oh no, he's just going to sit back.
Oh, that was really good. And Nivea really got lucky there. Just outside of the range of that fear, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
And so, or just 2 seconds later, and Morgana would have had ultimate. So.
I'm surprised Trixie didn't turn back into him. And
yeah.
I mean, Pobelter had no mana, so if he had gotten the ultimate, he probably could have picked up that kill.
Is it Trick or Trick Z? Or Trick Z?
I don't know if I should call it, say Tricks.
Tricks?
Tricks are for kids.
Okay. We both said, okay, we got
that was really bad.
Just die.
That was terrible.
I don't want to be friends anymore. Okay, but anyway, really just asserting her dominance in the top lane, and yeah, good for Kiko knowing when to stay aggressive and be, try and aim for those trades whenever she can.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a nice situation up there, and Kiko has been able to keep within range of Olaf despite the early advantages that Olaf had. Both of them are very strong. Kiko actually going for Berserker's Greaves, which is kind of interesting on Aurelia. Usually you'd go more defensive boots, but because Olaf tends to win the damage exchanges, Kiko wants the attack speed primarily for that true damage, which is very surprising. You don't normally see it. Erwin Booz gets the slow, and Robert X. Lee, he's going down very low himself, but there's the exhaust, the ultimate. He will drop, though. Just standing right there in front of all that Ezreal damage, kind of surprising. But yes, I mean, that's just continuing to give Ezreal a lead 4-1 right now. Once he goes back to buy, he's definitely going to be able to take an advantage in that bottom lane.
I like what they were trying to do there, though. I mean, that was the Nunu ult on top of the Graves ult on top of like a buckshot. So they thought they had enough damage to do to be able to kill him there, but
500 off.
Yeah, yeah. They thought, but they thought wrong, and that's fine. I mean, but Ezreal gets to stand back and blow all his spells and do a bunch of damage and. So Ezreal's lead is getting pretty ridiculous, and that's going to be a serious problem as we go into the mid game.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can pressure this still. It is very even at this point, but a lot of that gold advantage goes on to Ezreal, and he can start to abuse Graves a little bit. It's late enough into the game. Like if this were 5 minutes earlier, then it would be unbearable. But it's late enough that Graves should be okay. He has the AoE to control the wave, so he's going to be fine. Nocturne is sitting up in the top lane, waiting for X-Hazard to get some damage onto Kiko, but he's going to be okay. So X-Hazard, just sitting back safely, not diving after him at all, should be okay underneath his turret.
Yeah.
Catching him off. So really nice job throwing off the X.
Man, he good read, good mind game on X-Hazard there, knowing that maybe something was a little bit interesting, but we're seeing a big trade in the mid lane. This is where Nivea comes in and just can do a ton of damage with that Ignite, and Morgana is going to go down. And that's when you're out of position against Nivea, can really take advantage of that AoE damage. It's going to be hard to escape that and can just burn you down pretty quick.
Yeah, really nice job using that long attack range and that attack harass. They are able to grab this dragon here, so they're going to pull ahead. That's definitely going to be nice. And then through the mid game, they have an incredibly strong team. The team for Ordinance is also very strong in the mid game if they can coordinate their ultimates. So we'll have to see how that'll work. Ezreal's a little bit stronger, like we've been talking about, than Graves. And Aurelia will be a little bit stronger than Olaf at this point. So they do have those advantages for them if they can force any strong fights despite being down gold. Yeah,
and Singe is just sitting tight, seeing if there's an opportunity, but he's just going to back. But I'm rather pleased with the progress that Singe has made up to this point. He's got his 3 gold per 10 items. He's got decent farm, and he's really in this game, and he's just building some resist. He's going to try to get a little bit more tanky. So he's going to be a real issue, going into this mid game if they don't stop him. But that's the thing about the gold per 10 items is it's going to allow him, regardless of how his performance is, to get the items that he needs to be tanky and to do the damage, so that he has a big impact on the mid game.
And he's about as farmed as he would otherwise be if he was in the top lane. So,
yeah.
You know, being in the jungle, it's a little bit safer for the farm. He's doing fine there. They do have the ward here. NK Inc. almost going to walk right into both Morgana and Nocturne, but he is going to try for this, and they will be able to steal it or just force an engage on him. The bind into NK Inc. followed up by the fear. He drops very quickly, so they're able to pick up that kill.
That's unfortunate. That's just, I mean, good on Ord knowing when to go in and try to take advantage of that red, and knowing that Singed is going to be going for something like that. And, you know, with the speed, that red buff is so important to help, you know, with those auto attack slows and can have an impact. So good, you know, he's trying to get his experience, and they know that. He's trying to catch up, and so they went in and they put a stop to that. And so now Singe is a little bit far behind. But like I said, I mean, he has those gold for 10 items. So he's going to be getting gold regardless. So, I mean, he's a little bit behind, but it's not as big of an impact as if he was in, like, top lane, where you can really, really shut him down when you kill him.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. So we'll see how he continues to build, but it's going to be difficult because he's walking into an AoE team, and so that's always going to be a challenge for Singe. They could burst him down very quickly if any of them, you know, just focus him with Aurelia and with Ezreal. Then they're also going to be very safe. They're going to be able to get away from him. He's not going to be able to get the tosses that he wants to, generally speaking. In the meantime, Kiko doing a decent job in the top lane. X-Hazard going to take the turret a little bit here, but Kiko can just go back to farming, use the ultimate to actually heal. But there's Singe coming in with the ghost, the toss back into X-Hazard, tanking the turret for them, and Kiko will go down very, very quickly. They're able to pick that up. In the meantime, Nocturne in the bottom lane. Nunu, the ult's going to go off, but Robert X. Lee able to pick up the 1 kill. Then if Lexvink tanks it a little bit, not going to be able to get it. Erwin Booz not going down, but still another kill for Ezreal. 5-1 right now.
Yeah, that was, I mean, Ezreal just getting to poke and just getting in there and doing some damage. Oh, and just getting caught out of position. And what just happened there? How did Sona get that? I looked away.
Her passive.
Oh,
the power
okay.
Cord. She got the power.
Nice. Wow, okay.
After he flashed, she got the long-range power cord. Anivia taking down the mid turret. Another wall off. Trixie going to go down. Really just fantastic play so far from Pobelter. You know, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Meat Playground continues to do, and I would love to see how, you know, Pobelter in the mid lane matches up with any of the other top mid laners, you know, like Reginald for his aggression, or like, you know, Alex Ich or Froggen, you know.
Yeah.
God forbid. But,
well, what I'm noticing is Pobelter has really good positioning.
Yeah.
And seems to know how to the perfect combination of staying aggressive with you know, putting in the position in the lane where it forces him into a spot where he can use his AoE and can use that long distance harass and just do a lot of damage and force them in a position that they don't want to be. And so every time I feel like you know, the combination of the wall and the Anivia able to catch up Morgana, she's always running for her life, trying to get out of the AoE that she was in a bad position in the first place. So good for Pobelter in his positioning game. And I'm really curious how he's going to end up building into Nivea. It looks like he's going just pure damage, where in some cases we see some tankiness. But meanwhile, Nocturne coming around. I don't think Olaf's going to... Yeah, he's going to make it out of here, no problem. Oh, and Anivia going to come up and try to do some damage.
Yeah, actually, the shield from Lexvink, he's going to be okay for a second, but there's the Flash Frost. The Fear hitting just at the right time, so they don't actually grab that. No wall off from Anivia. Holds on to it. Morgana is coming up, though. Pobelter's going to have to watch out for that. Catches an eye on him. The snare actually hitting.
Oh, my gosh.
But Trix is getting very low. Olaf can chase this down. If he throws off his ghost, it is down right now, actually. So Trix will be able to get out of the axe. Just barely not hitting.
The wall.
In the meantime, the wall hits.
Oh, okay.
But in the meantime, Singe with the toss back, and actually Spellsy is very close to going down. The Graves ultimate's able to grab that, and then actually Robert X. Lee going to try and turn this around. The Nunu ultimate making sure he's not following, so he's going to be okay.
Oh, that was pretty good. Back at the top lane, that wall was really close to making it happen, and yeah, I wish he would have had it a little bit earlier, but he'd used it to try to block off the path in the top lane. And then going back to bot lane, yeah, Singe just so damn tanky. Just going in, he's tanking towers, he's doing poison damage, he does whatever he wants. And that's the power of Singe when he has the gold necessary to make an impact on the game. And now he's got his gold for 10 items, but now he's got that that armor to help him, you know, dive towers and you know, be the meat shield that he wants to be.
Yeah, the armor is absolutely key, so that with his ultimate, he can tank those turrets very easily. They are starting to get very tanky, and going back to Anivia's build, yeah, with Anivia, the base damage is high enough, and the utility is so high that Anivia can do basically any build that you want to, and we see that a lot of times. But in this game, they actually are very light on magic damage, so it's it's reliant on Singed and Anivia, and you don't expect Singed to just be running around, spewing gas on the team the whole time, because it's going to put him in a dangerous situation. Yes, you would hope that's the case, but it's not always going to be successful. So Anivia needs a little bit more burst damage. We'll go for that AP build so that they have a little bit more burst to their team. They still have great AoE with Graves, but they're not quite so reliant on physical damage. In the meantime, Pobelter, can he get the wall off? Just barely, not able to grab it, but they are in nice positioning for this dragon.
Yeah, and this is where Anivia will be really key. They can engage the dragon and then get the wall off like that. Morgana just slightly out of place. Could have asked for maybe a little bit better wall, but yeah, just that's the thing. You try to go out, they try to, and Anivia just going in and doing some real damage here.
Oh, and with Graves, the AoE, they're able to take down Sona really quickly. Irwin Booz has to get out of there, but Light Sludge cutting out Kiko, so he's going to be okay. X Hazard chasing him down. They're able to pick up all these kills here. Kiko goes down as well. Awesome play by Meat Playground, able to turn it around. Singed, the only loss, a 5-for-1 exchange. They grab the dragon, then they'll be able to transfer probably bottom, pick up that turret, and then go back by and continue their advantage.
And that was one of the benefits of Singed is you need to take him down because he have such an impact with his. I mean, it's not a ton of damage, but it's a lot of damage over time.
Yeah.
And with that, when he's hurling people over his shoulder, so you need to take him down. But in doing so, you're blowing all your cooldowns. You're focusing away from the carries, and that's when Anivia can come in and even Nunu coming in with that ultimate and just doing tons of AoE damage. And you're trying to get out, but there's walls, there's snowballs, there's ice balls, there's all these things coming at you. They're going to prevent you from leaving. You're just going to do tons and tons of damage. So, I mean, at this point, we have a 6-0 Anivia, and if we know anything about, Anivia's that we've seen before, when she has that significant of a lead, it's really hard to stop her with her toolkit.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's who's going to stop her. The only person on Ordinance that's doing really well for themselves is Ezreal, and Ezreal's a short-range champion. Ezreal doesn't have enough damage output or the range to take down Anivia, so it's just going to be really difficult. Aurelia, who's someone that needs to be diving after Anivia, is just really far behind right now. Olaf has really great advantages in that top lane, so Aurelia will be bursted down very quickly. As a result, they just don't have a means of shutting down Anivia. Anivia can control the fights very easily, while the rest of her team goes to town on Ordinance here. So Meat Playground just taking serious advantages in this game. We'll see how they can continue it. X Hazard, in the meantime, he can go back up top, and he can just shut down Kiko's farm because of his early advantages.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Anivia is posing a problem where you need to get to her, but there's all these things in your way to prevent you from doing that, whether it's Singed, whether it's the Nunu ultimate, whether it's, Olaf just throwing axes at you like crazy, or Graves just blasting you in the face with his shotgun. There's all these things that are prevent you from getting in, and that's, like you said, that's the problem with Ezreal. He's short range, and so he's going to try to get in, and he's going to get absolutely gobbled up in the meantime trying to do that.
Yeah, so we'll see. How Ordinance can try and stall this. Trixie or Trix, they can clear out the minion waves pretty easily. I guess I'll figure that out. But so I mean that will stall some. But Anivia is great offensively and defensively in lanes when you can control it. Robert X. Lee is down bottom though. Anivia in hot pursuit. Breaker 1-9, get out of there. Oh no, just not able to get the flash frost. So they will have to back off.
That was glorious. Breaker 1-9. Well, Anivia is about to go.
Oh, but the wall off onto Spellsy. There it is. Spellsy is trapped. The ultimate actually blocked from the Sona ultimate, but there's the Graves. One more attack is able to get it, so they're able to pick up that kill.
No, that was really good by Sona, knowing it. Just unfortunately there was a Graves there to finish it off, and they're just going to be putting some pressure on this tower. And Ezreal needs to be real careful. He's going to get caught out, which I think he knows that, and he luckily has the toolkit to get out if he needs to. But yeah, they're just going to be able to push down these towers and play aggressive. Meanwhile, Anivia coming in trying to do some damage on Ezreal, and they're just going to have to back out of here and try to poke him down because they're just doing too much damage. And with the Blood Boil of Nunu, with the wall of Anivia, if you get out of position, they're going to close down on you and they're going to catch up with you, and they're going to do their worst to you. So imagine whatever that is, and that's what's going to happen.
And then times 10.
And then times it by a temperature of the sun. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Oh, but Pobelter, he's got leg swing off on the side here. He will be okay, but he's taking a lot of damage. The wall off, so he'll be able to back off. Oh, one more attack. The Ignite, he's able to grab it. And then Robert X. Lee getting caught out of position. The flash actually from Graves. One more attack's able to grab it, and now they can get this bottom lane. They have them completely zoned out while Singed is split pushing the top lane. Morgana doesn't have a means of initiating.
It just, Spellsy's going to try to get out. Kiko's coming in, trying to do some damage, but the tankiness of Nunu and of Olaf, there's going to be an ultimate. And, I don't know, Nunu looks like Nunu's going to be able to get out of here. Oh, I was wrong.
He goes down. Xhazard's actually going to go down as well.
Nice,
Morgana,
wow.
the big thing was Morgana, I'll go back and take a look at that. Morgana jumped into the middle of the team, was able to split them, and so Morgana coming out on the backside, they lost their damage. They weren't able to, deal with it, and almost going down. Trixie, oh wow, just barely being
really?
worn out, and actually does go down to Olaf. But they will have to back off. But in the meantime, Singed is pushing down the top lane. And the next time that Meat Playground decides to group up for a fight, they can just poke down the turrets. And then if anyone tries to come up and stop Graves from attacking the turrets, Anivia will be able to just wall them off, pick them off, and grab them kills underneath the towers.
Definitely. And I was just looking actually at Meat Playground's summoner spells. There's 3 ignites on the team, which is just, a testament of how aggressive they wanted to play this match. It's not, they're not running that heal. They want to get in there. They want to do some damage, and that's where those ignites come in. And it's been working really well for them. And I mean, they can just play aggressive from this point on because they're so far ahead. I mean, we're looking at 9K. And more importantly, we're looking at a 7-0-5 Anivia, where you're going to try to get to her, but she's going to wall off, and she's going to keep you from doing that. So, I'm sorry?
No, I was actually just thinking, though, an interesting thing about Anivia versus spell shield champions like Nocturne, or even Banshee's Veil or Sivir, is that if you actually time the Anivia Flash Frost, you can pop the shield and get the stun.
Oh, really?
Because it has 2 damage portions. So the first damage portion, it runs, the Flash Frost runs over them, and then you proc it right after the shield dies. Which is just a random thing. It's very difficult to hit. But
well, I mean, I don't doubt that Pobelter could do that because he is the greatest AP mid in North America. Okay.
Wow.
I'm just making a lot of bold statements tonight. That's what I
heard
do.
Reginald is bad, too.
Yeah, Reginald's bad. Pobelter's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually really surprised by how good Pobelter is in the mid lane. I know you had said that he was mid lane for a while before going to top lane for Curse, and he played top lane for Curse for a significant amount of time. But I mean, his flexibility in champions and his abilities to zone and to control the lane are really, really good. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of people that are be able to compete with that.
Yeah, he was actually, I don't remember what the team was called at that point. It might have been Unrestricted or Triple X, but he was with the team before Nijaki joined the team, I believe, and he was playing AP back then, and eventually swapping. Robert X. Lee kind of getting caught off the Anivia wall, not quite able to grab it. Erwin Booz is pretty low, but Singe trying to force a fight still. They throw off the Shirelias, and can they get the engage? The toss back, the slow, there's the flip. Nocturne trying to get the engage, but Robert X. Lee drops immediately. The Nunu ultimate is able to zone them off, so Lexvink is going to go down. One more toss will be able to grab that. In the meantime, up top, they are zoning them off. Okay, so they get the toss there, but really nice play from them. Morgana actually going back in, though. Aaron Booz is very close. He does go down. NK Inc. One more toss back. Kiko does go down. The Sona ultimate, though, just stop fighting already.
How fast was Singe there? That was what? Shirelia's Ghost ultimate? So the 3 movement speed?
He was easily over 500. He
was. Yeah, there was no getting away from him. But it was interesting that that Ezreal was in a position where he was the one that got thrown over maybe like Sona or someone maybe less important. But I mean, not to say that supports aren't important, but I
we have to be careful about Sona's feelings.
You know what's going on after this? I'm playing some Singe jungle.
Nice.
And I'm going to lose. Pretty bad, but that's okay.
That's a shame, because I was actually going to ask if you wanted to do it, and now you're telling me you're going to lose, and I'm like, forget
Well,
that.
Either way, we're losing, so I mean, let's
true.
do it. Let's do it. I mean, it's rough when you're at 2,400 ELO and you want to experiment. I'm just kidding.
I hadn't realized you had gotten up that
yeah,
high,
well,
Nick.
Things happen.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's no
Pharrell
Lord, but in the meantime, 13K gold advantage for Meat Playground.
Yeah.
They're looking fantastic in this game. They do have the inhibitor down, and there's not a whole lot that Ordinance could do in this situation. They can just continue farming. They should be able to come and force this Baron pretty easily. Olaf is very strong at taking Baron, particularly when you have some armor. You have plenty of regen as well. So they'll be able to do that once they kind of group up, be able to force a fight. Morgana and Sona's ults, they should be up shortly. They might not even decide to force the fight. They might just decide to push down a lane and allow Singe to split push. So Graves is coming bot to pick up that farm, but Singe could split push bot and open up opportunities for the rest of Meat Playground to head up top. They can push down the top turret, and then if anyone goes after Singe, then they can force the Baron.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking actually, and Ezreal is really the only one that's a big issue for Meat Playground. And if you look at some of the item choices on Meat Playground, we have like that Frozen Heart on Olaf, and we have.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's
Item
okay. And the
choices.
Sunfire Cape on Singe, so they're really just like trying to counteract that Ezreal.
In the meantime, the Nocturne ult trying to prevent them from getting the engage, actually almost picking off Spellsy there. And the Morgana flashing in with the ultimate. Anivia is pretty low, but there's the Nunu ultimate. Will take care of business. The Zhonya's on Morgana, but they are perfectly fine here. And now Graves gets to come in and clean up. Trick's almost going down pretty quickly. They are able to pick up the kill onto Nocturne. And now NK Inc. will be chased down. That's the issue with Singe, but the rest of his team is looking fine. If they can get the kill, Graves just barely not able to grab Ezreal there. Morgana does go down. It's actually the GA, but Light Sludge, he gets the attacks onto Kiko. He has the red buff, then getting over the wall, picks up the double kill onto Ezreal, and Olaf now chasing down Spellsy will be able to grab that. So one last kill. There you go.
Ace.
And now they have plenty of time. They can pressure the Nexus. They can just transition right over to mid lane or get top, whichever. And yeah, then pick up the win. Nope, there you go. Surrender. Meat Playground able to take the win over Ordinance.
GG 2-0. Meat Playground is looking ridiculously strong and good, really good team fight situations. And I mean, really interesting champion choices. Singe there, they had to burst him down. He had so much gold, 10.7k, more than anyone else on the opposing team. And so he was definitely a threat, but in trying to take out that threat, they would have to blow all their cooldowns, and at that cost, at that point, it was just too late, and everyone else could come in and just do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their entire team, they're just so far behind. They're on average 4,000 gold behind across the board, for Ordinance. So just not able to compete with Meat Playground. Really nice job from them. Pobelter in the mid lane, absolutely abusing Morgana. And you said it in the beginning. We had the level 1 fight. Anivia started off 2-0, and I was like, yeah, but Morgana, she can sit there and play passively. You're like, yeah, but Pobelter's gonna rock him. And Pobelter rocked him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was able to chase him down, pick up his kills in lane.
That was really good, and I mean, really, I think it was Pobelter knew how to use an advantage with Anivia.
Yeah.
And well, I know that Morgana wants to sit back and farm, so how do I abuse that? I put up awesome walls, and I throw ice balls at your face. And that's what he did. And yeah, Pobelter, what an awesome guy. So good for him. I'm glad that he's succeeding outside of Curse. And, I don't think Curse would have made it this far in the tournament. But no, they're looking really strong, and I'm excited to see where their future lies. If they're gonna, I'm not also sure if they're a completely serious team or if they're just a bunch of solo queue people that get together on the weekends and play in tournaments and stuff. But hopefully
Curse
we
or
see
Meat Playground.
Meat Playground.
Oh, okay.
No, but they're all. I mean, they're all really good, and I can tell there's some cohesion in the team play.
Yeah,
they definitely talk about it, and they're having a good time. I can tell. So hopefully we'll see some more at Meat Playground, and of course Ordinance. Still very good. They're still in IPL elites. They made it to round of 8. They didn't drop down to the challengers, so they're going to be around still. So I think they have a bright future as well, and I'm excited to see both these teams and see how they do in the future. Yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. Again, we'd like to remind you, go to ign.com/IPL. If you go to the news section over on the right, the headlines, then there's a giveaway, $50 RP cards. So definitely check that out. It's going to be huge, and yes, that's going to be cool, guys. Thanks for watching. That's it. Nick, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Add me on Twitter, Nick Allen IGN. I don't think we have the overlay for me.
I don't have an overlay for you.
No, I'm not in there. But Nick Allen IGN, and follow me so you can hear me ramble on about stuff. And where can people follow you, man?
They can follow me on Twitter. There I am, Red Baron, and then I'll throw up a little text. Actually, I don't have time for that. But
no,
at Baroncast, go ahead and follow me.
We bicker a lot on Twitter.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
So it's pretty entertaining if you're into guy on guy bickering. Okay, guys, it's been fun.
So that's it. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
See ya.
Talk to you later, and have a nice night.